Welcome to this reflection for the second Thursday of Lent. You know, it's never too late with God. Today we recall the themes we reflected on right at the beginning of Lent, the choice between life and death and our own ability to trust God. Perhaps Lent has been a non-event so far for you, but it's not too late to start now because now is the favorable time. Today the prophet Jeremiah starkly reminds us of what happens. When we choose life, we live and grow like a tree which is green and bears fruit by the waterside. When we choose death and trust in our own abilities and powers, we die like scrub in the wastelands. The prophet then tells us where the roots of our problems lie. In our devious hearts, he says. God knows, I, the Lord, search the heart. Our Lenten journey should lead us into a deeper understanding of our own hearts so that we can choose life. And part of choosing life is learning to trust God more and in answering the invitation to live and act as God wants us to. The gospel today gives us an alternative way of acting, one which leads to death and the other to life. Luke is a beautiful storyteller, and it is a parallel which may make us feel rather uncomfortable about our own lives. But you see, Lent is meant to make us feel uncomfortable, and this discomfort is part of our journey to resurrection. Some of the choices we make and think are good are actually choices that put us on the path to death. That's what happens to the rich man. Throughout his life, he was doing well, but he failed to listen to the prophets around him. He indulged himself and wasn't interested or even aware of Lazarus. Lazarus, on the other hand, sounds like a complete loser who has nothing to offer the world. No one takes any notice of him. Yet, when he dies, it becomes apparent that he was on the chosen path leading to life. Notice too how the rich man, even when his fate is decided, still takes no responsibility for his choices. He attempts to warn his other family members of what awaits them if they make the wrong choice. Abraham points out that they have chosen for themselves and so must live the consequence of their choice. Abraham suggests that even the risen Lord himself appearing to them would have no effect. We have to make a choice between life and death. Even more stark is the fact that we must take responsibility for what we choose. Consumerism, for example, which focuses on amassing wealth and having the best for myself alone without worrying about my neighbor, is not going to lead us to life. The Bishop's Lenten appeal is one way that you can make a difference to the lives of others. Are you and have you made a commitment to giving something to the Lenten appeal so that the Church can help those who are in need, the Lazaruses of our own time? You see, friends, God does not want us to struggle to survive, and it is scandalous when people do, like so many in our country. However, it is also scandalous and dangerous to have more than we need or can cope with. Why? Because it then becomes easy for us to trust our own abilities and to replace God with money. Money gives power, and if you have money, you can do almost anything you want, including trying to replace God with the notes and coins that you carry. The fate of the rich man is a warning to us and should jolt us into carefully choosing this Lent, life or death. What are you choosing this Lent? What has changed and what are you trying to change? Do you often think about money? Are you centered on getting more? Maybe take some time today to ask yourselves those questions, and in so doing, you will be living the Lenten journey more deeply.